Hey everyone, welcome back to Leadership Lessons with Cheri. We are already on week number 7, and I hope that by giving you just a little tidbit of information every week, you're able to apply it to your leadership experience and just take yourself to the next level. That's my hope and goal and dream. I was seeing a quote the other day about leadership, and this person had said, I don't recall who the quote was from, but they said, a true leader is one who builds other leaders. And that's always been a goal of mine, is to share any of the knowledge that I have, any of the experiences I have, so that I can then in turn help form the next generation of leaders, help current leaders do their very, very best. So let's get started with this week's topic. This week, I'm going to talk about perfectionism. I was in a mastermind class last week. I go every Thursday with a group of people who've been in business a little bit longer than me, but I learned so much. And I also have found that I have information to contribute as well. And it's really a fun group where we can feel comfortable to ask questions and share our knowledge and experiences. And while we were in the group, I heard one of the more experienced business owners say, a lot of times when I work with my customers, I tell them we need to stop striving for perfection. Instead, be striving for excellence. And I really thought about that because as a former perfectionist, and I'm going to just be honest with you, I was probably one of the worst. And it was really about, and it always is, about my environment that I was in at the time. And it was as a child and a young adult. And I just started adopting the thoughts, the mindset that if I wasn't perfect, I wasn't going to be loved. How many of you are like that? And being a very high achiever, I think that that's kind of normal. But I had to start reframing my mindset to think progress over perfection. But when he said striving for excellence, it really hit something with me because I started to think about that thought right there. We all want to get better every day, right? And yes, progress is progress. But when you're a leader and you're in charge of people, you want to do your very best. You don't want to just be good or okay. You want to be excellent, or at least I did. I wanted to have that sense of excellence so that people knew they could trust me, that the information I was sharing with them was valuable, and that I was going to take care of my people. I was going to protect them. I was going to lead them in the right direction. I was not going to lead them down a path that was going to cause problems for them in the future. So I really like striving for perfection, but I've also heard it said perfectly imperfect. And that's one that I kind of adopt as well. You can tell I'm pretty cheesy. I like those little slogan type of things. Perfectly imperfect gives you that permission to start something before you know it's exactly the way you want it to be. Gives you a little grace, right? No matter what you decide you want to adopt. I'm a work in progress, I'm striving for excellence, or I'm doing this perfectly imperfect. Whatever it is, I think what is most important is that we start to think about removing the feeling that we have to be perfect. Because I'm going to promise you, it is going to become exhausting. If you're not already there or you've not experienced that, trust me, it's coming. It really is coming. And I especially see it with new leaders because you feel like you have to know everything. You have to be everything and you have to do everything. And that's not the case. It really isn't. It is okay to say, I don't know how to do that. Let me find the person that does. I don't know the answer to that, but let me get the answer for you. And it's also even better and shows your individual leadership skills when you trust your people to delegate. Because then it tells them you believe in them. You're giving them the feeling of security that they know they have a place on your team. And sometimes when you delegate, nothing is going to be perfect, right? Because you're taking a chance that somebody is going to do their very best job. Now, when I was in a classroom, I would tell my students, we're looking for you to do your best. It doesn't have to be 100% of the time, but you do have to do your best every day. And when I work with teachers, I tell them the same thing. You don't have to be perfect, but I do expect you to give your best. And now that I've shifted my mindset to move away from, I don't have to be perfect. What I do tell myself is I do have to give 100% of the time. And on the days that I'm not feeling it, I better make up for it on another day, right? Because the positions that I've had, either as business owner or campus principal, you have to show up. And you can't show up beating yourself up about not doing something perfect. You have to show up understanding that you are a work in progress, that you're striving to do your best, and that you can do some things perfectly imperfect as long as you learn the lessons along the way. So how do we get there? I do think it's going to, vary with every single person. But the first thing that I want you to do going into this week is I want you to do some reflecting. Are you someone who feels like you need to be perfect 100% of the time? Do you ever feel like, and you may not even know, but you may know that you feel like you're exhausted every single day because everything you did was not at the standard you wanted it to be? That's probably a good sign that you're a perfectionist, or that you never take on a task because you're too afraid you're going to fail, or you take on tasks and it takes you a little longer because you're always going back and redoing, revising. Those might be some signs that you're a perfectionist. But once you know that that's who you are, that's huge, because then you can start to move forward and start to give yourself a different mindset, a different set of thoughts to be thinking about when you are taking on new things, when you are taking on tasks that have to be done. And that's where you have to start telling yourself, it's okay. I don't have to be perfect. I have to be my best. So do some reflecting this week, see how that goes. Start reframing your mind, start thinking some different kinds of thoughts. And of course, if you need a little extra help, I'm always here to help. You can reach out to me on social media through my email at sheridixonconsulting@gmail.com. And I hope that on your path to figuring out where you're going in the future, you start to ditch the perfectionist mindset and you're able to start working perfectly imperfect. All right. Have a great rest of your week, y'all.